Welcome to Denise's Healing Journey. And today we're speaking with Lili Puckett, who is the founder of the organization Street Racing Kills. Lili, what are your professional credentials first, before we get started with that? Are you a translator by trade, or what is your profession?
Yeah, I'm an interpreter and translator by trade. Yes, I've been doing this for over 15 years.
So you're used to listening to people and understanding what it is they're saying so that you can communicate it.
Correct. I'm their voice.
I like that. I'm their voice.
Yes.
Now, how does one go from becoming a translator and an interpreter to having your own nonprofit?
Well, that's a big journey. From being a single mom, taking care of my children and being an interpreter, all of my life just completely changed when my daughter passed away. After Valentina passed away, everything came by itself. I did not plan ever of being a speaker, having a nonprofit. I think it's all God's work. It's all Valentina up there wanting to save lives, and we're just following her footsteps, and just all I did was just follow what God told me to follow, and it all gave by itself. All of a sudden, they asked me to start speaking at schools. I went to one, I went to another school. I was sharing her story, what happened to her, because I didn't want this to happen to anyone. I didn't want 100% no parent to go through what I was going through, what I go through every day of my life. I just wanted to make sure that that wouldn't happen. And that I felt from the first day she passed away. The pain was so, you can't explain the pain. You know what I mean? And I just knew that I was not going to allow anyone. I didn't know how. And all of a sudden they asked me to speak here and speak there. All of a sudden I have a name for the organization. And then all of a sudden I'm having a nonprofit. So I just been following the steps that God and my daughter have been giving them. And I just follow them every day.
May I ask, when did this happen? How long ago did this happen? And how did you feel when you were just initially going through that period? How do you go from like grieving to like saying, I need to do this. I need to start this organization.
So this happened in December 2013. So there goes my Christmas for sure every year.
Yeah.
And my holidays. But it happened in December 2013. All I did was I dropped her off to spend the night at a friend's house. They decided to go to a party that they got invited. And one of her girlfriends called a boy that she knew. And after the party, on the way back, he got challenged to a street race. As he got challenged to the street race, my daughter was sleeping in the back seat, because when they got to that party, there was alcohol and there was everything. We're talking about 3 16-year-old girls that they just got invited to a party. They have no idea what's going on at the party. So when they all got in the car, everybody was under the influence, especially the boy that was driving as well. But however, on the way taking them home is when he got challenged to the race. He took the race and he ran a stoplight and he crashed against an SUV and then against the fence in Wilmington. And my daughter was the only one that passed away. At the beginning, when all of this happened, of course, I had no idea what street racing was. That's why my organization is called Street Racing Kills. I kept thinking, what did it? Was it me as a mother that I wasn't careful enough? Was it her that she didn't know what was she doing at the party? And the more I read the report, I said to myself, had he not taken the challenge to a street race, just maybe my daughter would still be alive.
Yes.
And that's when the battle came. And I said, you know what? These kids need to be instructed. These people need to know how dangerous this is. And he wasn't a professional racer. He just got challenged. It's called a speed competition. That's what they call it by the police terms,
Yeah.
And I remember that I went to my office to work 2 weeks later, and I couldn't handle it. I was literally dragging my feet walking. I could hear, I've heard the term dragging your feet, but I
Yeah.
never seen it. And I saw myself dragging my feet to the office. I couldn't handle it. And at lunchtime, I left and I sat down in the parking lot at the Beverly Center. And I just was in disbelief that my daughter was no longer with me. It's very surreal when you're child. It's very different because I lost my father and my brother and my mom before, and your child takes your soul away. I mean, the feeling of losing a child is completely different than any pain I have ever encountered. And the more I talk to other parents that I'm in touch with now that have lost a child, same thing. We know what it is, and you feel your nails hurting, you feel your hair hurting, your whole body is just throbbing. It's a pain. I don't know how to explain the pain, but yeah, I just was sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but there's no way I'm gonna let any parent go through this. There's no way I'm gonna let any other child lose their life like this and be cheated out of their life. And I just didn't know. I went back to work, and like I said before, all of a sudden I got a text saying, would you like to come and speak at North High? And I said, sure. And I'm walking there. I said, can I take the poster of my daughter? And I took the poster of my daughter, and I'm walking through North High School, all these kids walking around. That's where my daughter would be. And I have a poster of my daughter with me. And that was the first day that I ever started speaking.
Wow. What a journey. Did you find initially talking about it painful, or was it healing for you?
You know what? I'm glad you asked me that question. I was in a lot of pain when I walked in. I was still in shock because it took a long time for that shock to go away. Because this was within months. This must have been in May.
Okay.
Yeah, when I think it was within months of her passing. And there was at that school that day, there was the person that speaks about drugs, there was the speaker that speaks about alcohol, and then there was me. And I spoke, and the lady that spoke about alcohol, I sat down next to her and she handed me some tissues, and I couldn't cry. I was just sitting there, and all the kids were crying. I had everybody crying. And she looks at me, she says, you don't know it yet, but your calling is calling you. And I didn't understand what she meant. But what I do remember is that I was smiling the whole day. After that. And my friend told me, you're glowing today. And I said to myself, I feel her so with me. And yeah, I think it was a healing. It was just like the first time since she had passed away, I was smiling. I don't know what it was. I think it was just when I saw I could touch those kids, when I saw a boy crying, I just knew inside my heart, there's a parent right there spared from losing a child.
That is powerful. That is powerful. Can you tell us some of the things that Street Racing Kills, the organization, has been involved with, and some of the people you've met that has really touched you, encouraged you?
Since we started Street Racing Kills, at the beginning, it was just about all I wanted to do was going to schools and speak at schools. And like I said, every time a girl comes up and hugs me and starts crying, I had boys come up and say, can I say a prayer with you? They're so happy when I give them the bands and everything. Those are the moments that really touch my heart. However, little by little, we started, collaborating with other nonprofits, different kinds with different missions, and a lot of course, traffic safety. I've met so many parents with different, just like me, and maybe I know another one right now is the Connor Lynch Foundation. She's amazing, and she lost her son to a distracted driver. So that's all they focus on. I have another friend that was a hit and run, and he got run over by a car. Didn't see him. He was on his bicycle, and then he dragged them all over, and he lost a leg, but he's huge speaker. So yes, now I'm a big time. We're Street Racing is a big time advocate for traffic safety. We do focus on the youth, but we do help other organizations regarding any issue of traffic safety, whether it's hit and run, um, uh, drunk driving, driving under the influence, distracted driving. So by meeting all these people with all these different organizations, I came up with a teen traffic safety program. That's when I said, you know what? There's no driver's ed.
Yes.
These kids get maybe me once a year, math mother second son driver once a year, every 15 minutes, which touch only one subject. And then they go take the test and they pass it. And I said, they need everything. So I created the teen traffic safety program, which is an after school program. And it's for parents and teens. And they all come, and I invite my organizations, all my friends that I've met, and one day they get distracted driving, the next week they'll get hit and run, the next week they'll get drunk driving or driving under the influence of marijuana. What we do is we when it's street racing and speeding, we blast it. We make it really big, and we'll bring a crashed car and police officers, reenactments, and so the teen traffic safety program is big. We're happy, and we're also focusing right now on trying to pass a bill, bigger punishment for speeders in street racing, because as you know, since COVID, unfortunately, the roads are so free right now. People are going crazy. We just had a crash day before yesterday in Santana. We're a street racer. Well, people street racing. So it's just happening so much. So I am collaborating with the California Highway Patrol. I'm part of the committee, and we're working right now on what are the steps and what are we going to do to curb, speeding and street racing.
And what is your vision for street racing kills in the future? What would you like to see happen?
Oh, well, I want to touch the sky with one finger. I think we're together anyway, always, and thank God allows me to have her in my life. God just I'm a lucky parent. I'm very lucky because not every parent has what I have, and I know that the reason why I have the organization is so we can be together until we meet again. And I want street racing kills to be everywhere.
So you're expanding out of state now, out of California.
Yeah, we're in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. North Carolina, we have a representative. And in Pennsylvania, we're collaborating with, it's a youth, it's called the Street to Strip program. It's a youth organization as well. And what they're doing is it's a diversion program for kids that have been in trouble in different ways, in street racing, any kind of way, stealing. So this year, definitely, Valentina's story is going to be there, and they're all going to be wearing our T-shirts. And probably, most likely, hopefully, because of COVID, I couldn't go this year. I'm going to go next year, so in August. So we're excited about street racing kills being in Pennsylvania. So we just want to expand everywhere. We do want to be, we want to have, our goal is to make sure that these adolescents know the dangers of speeding and street racing. Our goal is to have this all over, everywhere. If we can do the whole world, we would love to. Everywhere, I think the youth should have this awareness, and that's our goal, to be everywhere in all the schools and make sure that this is covered.
That's wonderful. I mean, just from taking a step, you've seen this grow so large and really so fast too. That's wonderful. As we close out our time together, what are some lessons about healing that you've learned in this journey that you'd like to share with others?
Uh, I never knew that when people, the reaction, I think is the reaction of the after I speak. I'm also a victim speaker for Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, and this is for adults. And when they come and they talk to me and they tell me how they feel, I think those are the biggest lessons, when you don't understand that the words that come from your heart can touch someone's heart. And I've noticed that I never write down what I'm going to say. I just speak from my heart always. And it's amazing what I can see, what my heart can say. And then somebody else comes and talks to me and how touched they are and how they get it. I think that's the biggest lesson to me that I have learned, that what comes from within you, from inside you, and it touches another soul, it's so meaningful. And I had no idea that I could have the power to do that. And how sometimes I say things and I'm like, where in the world did I come up with that? You know, and I know it's coming from up there. I know it. So yes.
If someone wants to support your organization, how do they contact you?
Well, they can go to my website at streetracingkills.org, or they can email me at lili@streetracingkills.org, Lili, or same thing, they can contact through my Facebook page as well.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Lili, and sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. And this is Denise's Healing Journey. Wishing you a good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you, and God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you.